A family friend once told me that to truly learn a language, you have to spend at least a month in a country that speaks solely that language. I had the privilege to spend that month with 11 other wonderful people, each with a fascinating story to tell, each with a life to share. Cradler, Laura, Kanoni, Amari, Mame, Emma, Esperanza, Kai, Salah, Breeze, and Sarah. Our journey, beginning in Paris, actually began in Iceland after our flight slowly taxied away from the gate as we ran up the stairs. While we did miss a day in Paris, we suffered together. No, we got to know each other in a loud and very busy corner of Keflavik Airport. Now that the icebreakers were over, our integration into French life would be much easier. What was most important to me about discovering France was not finding the most visited spots, making sure I had the perfect photo of the Arc de Triomphe to print when I got home. Though that was something I wanted to do. I wanted to discover what no one paid attention to. I wanted to find a cobblestone street in between the Haussmann-style boulevards. I wanted to be able to enter a boulangerie across the street from the hotel and be able to buy a baguette without asking someone for help or having to translate. I wanted to feel like a Parisian, not an American. And I lived exactly what I wanted. I wasn't sure what to expect when I stepped off the train in Blois. There was no time for hesitation when I left the group, quickly thrown into a life of solely French. The moment my wonderful host mother asked me if I wanted to speak in French only, I knew I would enjoy every moment of my stay with my host family. When I sat down to eat dinner with them on the first day, I almost immediately felt like a son, part of this ridiculous and hectic but loving family, not just a passing student. I would walk my host brother to the pool some mornings, then accompanied my host mother to buy materials for the room they were renovating, or go shopping with my host sisters. I helped bake an apple crumble and banana bread shared with Sarah, my group leader, then took part in a spontaneous water gun fight. I voluntarily ate salads every dinner, something I never thought I would do. I saw wondrous spectacles from the Milky Way in the backyard to wildlife in the Forêt de la Chambord. My host sisters and I traveled to Orléans one afternoon, walking around in a fascinating combination of Blois and Paris. I knew that I wanted to be willing to help, and I never felt more useful in the household. I wanted to give much more than I would get, but I received kindness tenfold in return. In addition to developing amazing relationships with my host family, I met hosts of new friends on wonderful trips like canoeing down the Loire River, and I really will never forget those days. We ended the stay with a beautiful display of fireworks for Bastille Day, as if Blois knew of our departure and gave us something to remember them by. When we returned to Paris, I was ready to explore this crazy city full of life, music, culture, and history. But I wasn't merely going to take pictures. I was going to find places well known to locals, but invisible to tourists. I was going to become a Parisian, not merely ask the most basic questions. The first step in becoming Parisian was becoming a fan of Les Bleus. Watching the World Cup final with thousands of other Parisians in the streets was something truly unique. Hearing a unity I had never experienced before, not even in the famously patriotic country that is America. And we won. Working as a baker, or really whatever I was told to do, in the boulangerie Roger Collin showed the extent to which French people devour baguettes and croissants, or really anything involving the delicious pastries. It's no myth. I was also told that butter was used a lot in meals, but I never realized how much, until I saw it for myself. Our days with the children of the Goutte d'Or gave a face to the immigration crisis around the world, but seeing the smiles on everyone's faces when we spent time at the beach with them showed me how much fun I can have with people I knew nothing about a few hours before. Hard-working mothers from Morocco prepared delicious meals for all of us. Shells abandoned by hermit crabs were collected to decorate single-tower sandcastles. I felt accomplished, even if I felt I had done little. Of course, going up the Eiffel Tower was magnificent. Being able to see the beautiful city we had all explored gave a feeling of closure to this fascinating and just amazing trip. The classic City of Lights had its meaning fulfilled. I felt a jubilation inexplicable by words alone, magnified by the raw wind howling through the metal grate and the bustling of tourists, shoving their hands into the abyss to get the perfect picture. I was perfectly happy to end the voyage here. And yet, I was given the opportunity to serenade with a violin on the Seine. Standing in the middle of a bridge lit by a few lamps along the handrail under a moonlit sky, next to the orange street lamps lighting the winding roads lining the famous river, surrounded by friends I never knew I would have, I accomplished a dream I never knew I had. That moment, those few minutes, being able to share my music with people I cared about, concluded my summer in France. And now, our second time in Iceland, my first time appreciating how strange this island was. A bleak, treeless, rocky mass with mountains miles away and a navy gray ocean surrounding, where I thought life existed solely in that ocean and lava spilled from the ground. And with our luck, we were treated to the most beautiful days of the year, according to several locals. Living with the group as a family in a house, sharing a kitchen, cleaning up after each other could have ended in a disastrous family fight. Instead, the constant proximity brought me to understand everyone much more. I realized how important even the most basic forms of nature are for conservationists, and helping plant 467 trees would enrich the environment for the years to come. Exploring the Golden Circle showed me how incredibly insignificant I am compared to the Earth's untamed rage and power. Iceland was a surreal island controlled by the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates, and life did exist in the oceans. But being able to live through these moments with the group was the gift of this part. Learning with each other, working with each other, experiencing the joy of living life with each other. And as quickly as we had met each other, we departed, leaving the euphoric bubble of traveling the world with friends, finding our ways back home. And yet, I felt close to the group when I felt their absence, a group better than I would have ever expected, and a trip so incredibly magical.